deserts won't go hungry after the few stores that they had in their areas have closed down now because of all of the looting.
Yeah, she's been kind enough to join us this morning alongside Social Change co-founder and executive director Todd Belcore. Together, they're hosting a walk-up food drive near Chatham tomorrow. They've been kind enough to wake up early with us and join us via Zoom. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you both. Toronto, let's start with you. What are you hearing from people in the community? Things were already bad with the pandemic. We know there are food deserts, and now the looting has closed many of the stores these folks rely on so desperately. What are they telling you?
I haven't really been talking to many people, but I know my family, for one, is suffering. You know, they're from the south side of Chicago. I still have family who live on the south side of Chicago who are dealing with the pandemic and the looting and everything else that's going on. My first plan of action is to basically give back. That's why myself and Todd were throwing this food drive pop-up for families in need on 5401 South Wentworth between the hours of 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. tomorrow. And if there aren't if these people aren't mobile or they aren't able to get to the location, we are providing Lyft services. We're going to send out a special code so that, you know, our people can get to and from. This is the first step to taking action to what's going on, to being able to help the community. It takes a village.
I love this idea, a pop-up grocery store. You know, I want you to explain, because some people, they just drive down the street, you know, a few blocks, they get to the grocery store. What is it like for people who live in these food deserts? What is the challenge, even before all of this? What's that like, not having the options that other people have?
I will say it's it's complex. You know, not only I'm gonna speak for my grandfather. He's not mobile and able. So these stores, like the pharmacies, being taken away from the elderly, they're not able to go to their local pharmacy, so they have to go outside their neighborhood. And if they're not mobile, it's an even bigger problem. But like I said, right now this is the first plan of action. Maybe later we can figure something out to be able to, you know, get people to and from. I know in different areas there has been a certain uproar with different other races not being able to come over on the other side of town to be able to, you know, receive groceries and going to other pharmacies. So that right now that's a problem.
Todd,
it's a huge problem.
Todd, let me turn it to you, because when we talk about a food desert, we're not just talking about a brick and mortar location that's more than a mile away and a lot of people not having cars. I think we also have to mention the fact that in a day when gig economies are growing and more people aren't even leaving their house, that they're having their groceries delivered to their homes, these communities that we're talking about, they can't afford it. Their delivery charges, surcharges, maybe they don't have a device so that they can get an app to have the food, particularly the elderly. Are you seeing any signs of help on that front?
It's important to recognize that we are dealing with the pandemic as we're dealing with also the great turmoil and unrest after the murder of George Floyd. There are people who were terrified well before this, not only of, you know, being exposed to COVID, but also just terrified by the notion of how are we going to keep food on your table, and how are we going to keep the roof over our head. So you add to that terror with the terror of just leaving the house and being exposed to police violence or brutality of other kinds. And on top of all that, all the stores are closed. Where do you eat? People are fighting for their lives. People are fighting just for an opportunity to have the basic resources they need to provide for themselves and their families. So the sentiment right now is not just one of pain, but it's just deep concern that inevitably boils over. Because there's only so long you could be expected to go without any of the basic resources you need to survive before you act in a way to shout out and let the world know something needs to change immediately.
Well, Todd and Toronto, we want to thank both of you for coming on this morning, talking about this pop-up grocery store, because it's definitely needed, especially now more than ever. The information where some of those events is taking place is right there on the screen. And also, if people want to know about future ones, where do they go? Really quickly.
Socialchange.site, website, socialchange.site, or Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, Shy Social Change, not Shy like Timothy, Shy like Chicago. We're here to serve and reflect the needs of the community through our work.
You got it. Thank you so much, both of you. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.